Hello, I am going to be talking about dam removal in the Lower Snake River Dam and how it is beneficial and the political implications behind it. Part 1 Introduction. When I think about issues with natural resource management in the western United States, I think of dams and their effect on the fish species that migrate upriver. The biggest problem is that dams are a very effective clean energy source, but many of them impede fish travel where they need to spawn. The dams of the lower Snake River are old, and the cost of their upkeep is proven to not be worth it. Instead, I feel like the dams should be removed, or at least partially removed, to allow a strong chance for the salmon and steelhead of the Snake River to finally recover and get removed from the endangered species list. Part 2. The main body. When it comes to removing the dams of the lower Snake River, the biggest thing that comes to mind is the loss of electricity from clean energy, like I mentioned previously. I feel like we have other clean energy sources that we can replace the dams with. According to an article by Storch et al., published in 2022, dams have a growing number of evidence that shows that they are negatively affecting the ecology and rivers that they are built around. This paper also mentions how expensive it is to maintain the aging infrastructure of these dams and exceeds the advantages that they provide. Due to other mandates put in place by the United States government, the cost of keeping the dams up are becoming more and more expensive as time goes on. Politically, removing the dams is its own set of challenges. A paper written by Harrington and Cantor in 2024 says that removing dams can be controversial due to the political stakeholders involved. Oftentimes, there's a cost-benefit analysis done to show the trade-offs of dam removal. When it comes to dam removal, it usually focuses on how the ecosystem has degraded over time due to the dam's placement, as well as tribal mitigations or marginalizations. People who don't want dams removed like to focus on the economic benefits, energy production, and the water for agricultural use. The removal of the 4 dams on the lower Snake River has been a large issue in the western United States for the past 30 years. In the Harrington and Cantor paper, it stated that the 4 dams on the lower Snake River, the Ice Harbor, the lower Monumental, Little Goose, and the lower Granite dams, are the most harmful for salmon. It's theorized that by removing these dams, we could have salmon as a species recover enough to fully be able to remove them from the endangered species list. According to another paper by Hilbert Wolf and Gerlich, written in 2022, says due to the salmon being impacted by these dams, and other species such as orcas in the southern Puget Sound and the Washington state coasts are also affected by this. Having dams up on the lower Snake River are causing a cascading effect of species across the state of Washington and Idaho. Benefits of dam removal will help fish species that migrate upriver for spawning, as well as so many other animals that depend on the river ecosystem. According to an article by Whitelaw and McMullen, written in 2022, states breaching the dams of the lower Snake River will return traditional sites and fisheries to native tribes, reduce taxpayer subsidiaries to corporate irrigators and barging companies, improve water quality and the ecosystem of the river as a whole, as well as comply with other laws and treaties that are now in effect in the United States. The cost of removing the dams is also present. The biggest cost of removing the dams is the loss of clean energy. In a paper by Pitcock et al., written in 2020, the dams of the lower Snake River produce 6,396 average million watts of power that accounts for 81% of the energy production in the area. In the same paper by Halbert Wolf and Gerlich, written in 2022, stakeholders for the electricity and agricultural interests do not want the dams removed. They argue that all research related to how dams have been the cause for salmon decline are untrue. Many of them want to place the blame for the salmon decline on oceanic factors instead of the dams in the river. In conclusion, the best way to solve the ecological problem of salmon decline is to remove the dams we have. We have other ways of clean energy, such as wind turbines. I know they're not ideal for bat and bird species, but many of them nowadays are being placed in areas away from migration, as well as they have radio antenna on them to scan for birds and bats, and are able to stop moving if they sense one approaching, according to an Autobahn magazine article from 2018. I know there's always nuclear energy as a clean source as well, but people are still hesitant about those after the few meltdowns that have happened out of the many plants we have around the world. So, in the end, I have come to the conclusion that it would just be ideal if these dams on the lower Snake River were removed entirely. Thank you.